Hello, water signs. Welcome to the Dreaming Druid channel. I am your host, Charity Rose, also known as the Dreaming Druid. Today in this reading, what we're going to do is we're going to go through each zodiac sign, but first we're going to do a general, general card reading for all the water signs. So it'll start with general reading for all water signs, and then I'll go into the 3 different water signs. So I'm actually going to start with Pisces, and then I'm going to go Cancer, and then Scorpio at the end. And so the way that I've been structuring these is the whole reading is for you. Even if it's a sign like, oh, I'm going to go into the specifics for Cancer, and you have, you don't have Cancer placements. This is for all of you. So I would listen to the entire reading, not just your sign, especially listen to the general reading portion because it is something that is going to influence the overarching energy for the individual signs, okay? And I have the general structure here like the other videos, but I do read intuitively, so keep that in mind. Your guys' reading, I have been hesitating to do it. I'm like, oh, let's start. Oh, no, I'll wait. Oh, let's start. Oh, no, I'll wait. So I feel this energy of like hesitation or juggling of an issue, or like it's hard to make a decision, or it's like even if the decision is made, it's still like there's this back and forth energy of like, do I do this or do I do that? Do I go or do I stay? Do I make this decision now or can I wait? Kind of thing. And so I just decided, even though I might not have enough time to do this reading all in one sitting because I'll have to leave for work, but I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to get started anyways and see how far I get and stop fighting myself, because I woke up wanting to do this reading today first thing in the morning. So it's like, here I am, and so that's the feeling I get for you water signs, even before opening up any cards, is there's a level of hesitation, and I just heard the words hesitation will lead to defeat. And for any of you gamers out there, that is a quote from Soul Calibur 4. I know that's a really old game, but still, like, it's true. What you hesitate on, you will miss an opportunity if you hesitate too long, is the message that I'm getting for you guys already. Also, something different that I didn't do for any of the other signs is I have almost every single deck with the bottom of the deck energy up. Like for the rest of the signs, I just did a few, but for you guys, I felt like I need to keep almost all of them. I think all of them except the Dragon Oracle. But as soon as I revealed the bottom of the deck, it's like, oh, I already see a story forming before, going into the general cards. And so let me just kind of go over that before I open the cards up for the general reading. But basically what I'm seeing is the fact that this healing card says, get clear, get clear. And it's really funny that the way that I go in energetically into a reading tells me a lot about that sign or those signs. So this is water sign reading. So definitely the water signs are needing to get clear. And it's funny because on the bottom of the deck energy for the Unicorn Oracle, it says discernment. And so what is discernment but making a judgment, getting clear and then making a judgment on what you've gotten clear about. Because what is discernment but being able to see the truth, being able to discern what needs to happen and what doesn't need to happen, who is telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. And I feel like there's this kind of like murky water around, or like some hidden things around the truth of things. So that's why this is saying get clear, and so that you can have used your discernment. Because the bottom of the deck energy for my Cosmos deck is the Karina card. I'll hold it up for you. And this is about a risk to structure, stress, potential damage. This is about a boat that's like going off into treacherous waters with all these icebergs, and it's like there's this iceberg here about to damage the boat. And that's, how the Titanic sank. So we all know how icebergs and boats don't really mix. So this card to me is like the reason why it's so important for you to get clear and use discernment is because you're like avoiding a disaster. You're like, it's a near miss. Because right here, you can see the boat hasn't crashed yet, but it is like centimeters away from touching the tip of the iceberg and destroying the integrity of the boat. So this is like a risk to structure, stress, potential damage. This is saying like, this is why I feel that you've hesitated on making a decision is because you are afraid to destroy what you've built or lose what you've built. You don't want to take on any more stress. You don't want to deal with more damage. So it's like the decisions you're trying to make is like, how can I make this decision while not risking anything? And that's kind of the message I'm getting as well for you water signs is there's always going to be a risk with every decision that you make, whether you are aware of the risk or not. That is why it's saying get clear and use discernment so that you at least know the dangers in which you're going into. You're allowed to steer a boat in icy waters with icebergs. It's just you need to be able to be very calculated and smart about knowing the risks and then taking a calculated risk, basically. So it's like, don't be all like, oh yeah, we'll just wing it. This is not a wing it situation, okay? Water signs, this is not a wing it situation. This is about getting clear so that you can use discernment to be able to navigate these potentially treacherous and potentially dangerous waters without damaging anything, without permanently damaging anything. Okay, so that's this section here that I'm feeling. And then part of that is it's kind of funny, like, so the bottom of the deck for the tarot is the 8 of Cups, and the 8 of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve. So, and this is more on an emotional level, but it can embody, physical, mental, emotional, like I said, spiritual, or like internal, but so it can embody internal or external structures for you of what you're walking away from. But here's the thing is like, I feel like this walking away energy is like you are walking away from the things that no longer serve, whether you realize it or not. And that is why it is so important for you to get clear and use that discernment to avoid irreversible damage. So this is why that these cards are coming out, because you are walking away from the things that no longer are emotionally fulfilling for you. I feel like you're kind of bored with your life already. Like you're ready to move on to bigger and better things, the things that are more in alignment with your emotions and with your soul. The 3 of Pentacles here on the bottom of the Light Seers Tarot deck is about building a future. I just heard green light go, but I also heard red light stop. So it's like, okay, but there's also this orange light on there too. So it's like, you need to know 3 basic things, water signs: when to go, when to stop, and when to use caution. And that's what this whole, like, before I'm going to get more clear on what's going on, but the message that I'm seeing just by sitting here and just looking and feeling is getting clear on when to go, when to stop, and when to use caution, because you are moving away from the things that no longer serve you. But you got to be able to move towards things that are going to be more fulfilling. Because this guy, he's thinking, oh, I'm going to walk away from this stuff that's no longer serving me. But he's headed towards the mountains. So he's like headed off into greener pastures. And so, as we all know, that sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. So it's like, are you running away from or running towards something? So that's the question to ask yourself is, are you running towards your hopes, dreams, and wish fulfillments, or are you running away from pain, fear, boredom, and all those things? So it's like, it's better in my opinion, it's better to run towards your dreams, because then even if fear crops up, You're not going to run away from that fear just because it feels scary. You're going to have that goal in mind, and that's going to make it clear on what is actually like a fear that you need to avoid, what worries are valid and which ones are just figments of the imagination. Because I don't know about you guys, water signs, but guys and gals, water signs, your thoughts are heavily tied to your emotions. So basically what you think you will feel. And so if you're thinking in a way that is in fear, worry, and doubt, then you will feel the fear, worry, and doubt. And then the mind has a funny way of being like, well, I'm not feeling so good about this thing. Maybe it's the wrong decision. And that's where the muddy water kind of comes in, why it's so important to stay clear, get clear and stay clear, and use that discernment to avoid disaster, because sometimes the fear is something you have to go towards and push through in order to get to your dreams. So really ask yourself, what is it you actually want? Do you want to have a stable home life? Do you want to own your own home? Do you want to be a mother? Do you want to have children? Do you want to, you know what I mean? Like, I keep hearing financial stability, financial stability, emotional stability, a partner that actually is, that supports you in the way that you need. It feels like a bit of a struggle right now for you to kind of like really get clear on what it is you want. For some of you, I feel like you already know what you want, but it's just like really get clear on why. Like, why is it that you want this? Is it to fulfill some ego-driven identity, or is it to actually like fulfill the contract of your soul on planet Earth? Like, what are you bringing to fruition, and what is the point? What is the purpose? What does it serve? Not just serve you, but serve the world at large. Because I feel like a lot of you water signs have really, really big missions. So this is about seeing what that mission is in its essence, and then seeing how it can manifest on a physical level, but not being too boxed in that arena, and being able to navigate some dark, heavy emotions. I feel like some of the fact that, I'm talking to water signs here, and we've got a card with water on it, but it's like dark, murky with some danger in there. So it's like your emotions, I feel, can be your biggest blessing and your biggest curse. Okay. So it's very much like time to get really, really clear on how you want to move forward, when you need to stop, and when you need to take caution. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of these oracle cards. I'm just, for the sake of my sleeves, I'm just going to scoot this pile over here. Okay. All right. So I really feel like we're going to reveal this healing card and see what the other healing card is that you've gotten. Ooh, transform. Wow. That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is like tons and tons and tons of butterflies. Like, a lot of the artwork in these cards have butterflies, but this is like a very clear point of transformation. Transform. This is a card asking you to transform. It's also the number 35. So I just heard somebody in the age of 35, or maybe 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years, or 3 to 5 days, or 3 to 5 weeks. For some reason, 3 and 5 seem important right now. 3 is, I always see it as like a good luck number, and then 5 is the number of transformation, actually. So it's like you're being granted luck in your next leg of the journey. The fact that she is observing this glass with a tree in it full of butterflies, I feel like this is your hopes, wishes, and dreams, and it's time to stop looking at it through this, like, I heard glass ceiling. So it's like, instead of looking at it with like an untouchable dream, your dream's untouchable, you can't reach it, it's right there, but it's still not within reach. It's time to like lift the glass up off of your hopes and dreams and allow them to be free and take flight and move in the way that they are meant to be moved. So keep looking at this little baby angel here. It could be seen as a fairy. I see it as a baby angel, like a cherub. You have definitely guidance, guardian angels with you that are guiding you. And I feel like every single one of these butterflies is like a hope, wish, and dream, and is a guide to take you to where you need to go. And I keep hearing, look up, look up. So instead of, focusing on what she can't touch, she is figuring out how to release this. And it's almost like she's overthinking it. She looks very serious. And it's really not that hard to just lift the glass up off of your dreams and make them come true. It's just a matter of allowing yourself to take this transformation despite the fear, worry, and doubt. And that is why Spirit is like wanting to come in and comfort you with the advice of getting clear. I didn't even get totally into this card here, the Get Clear card. Look at her. This is the same woman like depicted twice in this card, in my opinion. And her eyes are like closed or almost closed. And I saw the Two of Swords tarot card in my mind. And what that card is about a woman, holding two swords over her heart with a blindfold over her eyes. And what that means is to protect yourself, you need to go within and get clear. Okay. The fact that she's reading this book, I keep hearing journal, like this is her journal that she's like rereading. So maybe it's time, if you're unsure about what your hopes, wishes, and dreams are, get clear on what that is by maybe going back and reading some of your journal. Or if you used to journal, it's time to journal again. Also reading books, something about books helping you get clear. Just referring to knowledge, but she's using this knowledge not like, oh, the book has all the answers. No, it's I have the answers within me, and the wisdom from this book will awaken the truth within me and help me get clear. Also, her in the background here, she is connecting deeply with nature. She's leaning up against a tree, like lovingly against a tree, absorbing the knowledge of nature around her, and this bird is a messenger. So it may seem counterintuitive in order to get clear, to just rest and close your eyes and connect with nature and slow down. That's what I keep hearing, is also slow down, because the answers and the clarity can come at the most interesting times, and usually when we have taken the time to surrender. And I feel that this is a card of surrender, even though it's about getting clear. It's like, how do we get clear? We get clear by surrendering. If we feel confused, surrender to that. Just be like, you know what? I am confused right now, and that's okay. I have the ability to move forward and get clear. Also, I keep hearing Spirit say, ask for a sign. So, and you can be specific too. I think a lot of times people ask for a sign and then they see the sign and they're just like, okay, well, what does it mean? How does this help me? So that's the thing, is like, if you are unsure whether you need to make a decision this way or make a decision that way, go out into nature, clear your mind, allow yourself to indulge in reading books, journaling, taking the time out for yourself, connecting with nature, doing things that are not related to the thing that you're trying to get clear about can actually help you get clear about the thing. So it's like, what do I do next? Well, go out into nature and relax. Allow yourself to get clear your mind. Allow Spirit. So, okay, back to the thing. I'm getting off on side tangents here. As far as asking Spirit specifically, what you can do is, like, if you need to make a decision A or decision B, just be like, okay, if I'm supposed to make decision A, show me a white feather. If I'm supposed to make decision B, show me a quarter, a coin, but be specific, like a quarter. So, and then whichever sign you see first, Spirit will give you signs, but then that sign is supposed to trigger a feeling within you to pay attention to. So if you see like a white feather and you go, oh man, I was really hoping it was going to be, option B. Well, really listen to that, because sometimes being like making a decision will help you see whether you're actually excited or disappointed, and then that will give you a clue on, okay, well, maybe it actually is this other one. So that's what I do to help myself know whether I actually do want to do something. Is like, do I feel elated that I am canceling plans, or do I feel disappointed that I'm canceling plans? That to me is an indicator of what decision I actually need to make to be true to myself. Okay. The fact that this transform card is here when all of this that I'm seeing so far is about like how to transform. You know, the transformation is going to happen regardless, because if there's one constant in life, the constant is that change is a constant. So the transformation is going to happen regardless. It's just a matter of helping yourself move forward in this journey, because I feel like a lot of you have had this question of like, how can I trust myself? How can I know the real answer? Well, I feel like this reading is going to really help you understand how important that is and how to actually go about doing that. You know, walking away from the things that no longer emotionally serve, asking yourself, does this emotionally serve me? How does this serve me? And how does it connect with my hopes, dreams, and wishes? And if you are stuck on not even knowing your hopes, dreams, and wishes, that's a good place to start there too. So it's like something that helps me out with knowing exactly what my hopes, dreams, and wishes are is, what kind of emotion do I want to feel on a daily basis? For me personally, I love feeling free. Freedom is huge for me. So if I feel like something is locking me down, I question it. So, and then there's things like things that may seem like they're locking you down. Like, for example, having discipline. The thing about that is, and this is where the getting clear and the discernment come in, is having discipline can actually unlock even more freedom. So I'm just using this example. I've been using this same example for like every video because it's like very prominent in my personal life, but like getting my body healthy. So, you know, I used to kind of just go about it all willy-nilly, but now it's like, okay, I am disciplined in how much I'm eating, when I'm eating, how much water I'm drinking, and like going to the gym. So it's like that discipline may seem like I'm taking away freedoms of like what I get to do when, what do I get to eat when. But really the freedom that I'm gaining from this discipline is having a fit and healthy body that doesn't hurt on a daily basis. Like that is huge to me. I would rather have that than, you know, it's like sometimes we need to have that discernment of what we need to actually have discipline in, because that discipline is going to grant us a certain thing. And this might come up in your life in a different way. For example, like when you feel fear of like leveling up or stepping up, you know, becoming more of a boss energy, that can feel really, really scary and like, oh, well, that's blocking me from more freedoms and blah, blah, blah. So maybe to a certain extent, but what else is this granting you? That's another thing to look at and pay attention to is, if you do accept this transformation fully, what else is this granting you? Okay? Is it worth it? I say yes, but it really depends on you. Okay, let's open up the rest of these cards. Now, I usually just, for the other signs, I just drew one dragon card, but I kept hearing Spirit say, grab two, get two. I'm like, okay, so I have two dragon cards. So let's see what they are. Ooh, wow. Emergence and Destiny. Water signs, what the heck? This is literally what I've been talking about, this transformation. This is what you're going through because you're going through a transformation right now. And so it's literally leading you towards your destiny. Now, does this mean that this next transformation is going to be a one-stop shop and that's it for the rest of your life? Probably not, because like I said, the one constant in life is change. So this is just one transformation. Allow this transformation to unfurl with no stops. I feel like in the past you might have like stunted your own transformations or your own growth out of like fear, worry, and doubt, or confusion for a lot of you. I feel like that's where a lot of fear, worry, and doubt comes from, is confusion. So to me, also another thing is to dissipate confusion and gain clarity is to literally learn more about it. Because the more you know something, like the back of your hand, the less the fear has to grab onto to make you feel scared. Because what is fear but unknown factors that you don't want to deal with potentially, okay? So it's like the what ifs. So be careful with the what ifs. Be careful with the fears. Now, of course, fear is not something to be afraid of. Fear is literally just an indicator emotion showing you where you lack information. So if you're like moving, or if you're needing to move and you're afraid of like, oh, where am I going to live? How am I going to make this happen? Blah, blah, blah. It means you need to do more like market research. You need to look into what housing is available, what is actually out there, make a game plan, be very methodical about it. I just heard like earth sign grounding. Be more like an earth sign right now, in the fact that it's very practical. It's very methodical. It's very A plus B equals C. Because I know you water signs, my moon is in Cancer, so I understand water signs. Plus I'm like right on the cusp of Scorpio, so I actually resonate with Scorpio readings a lot. So it's one of those things where the water signs feel very deeply and very complexly. It's like there's this whole world within your emotions, very much like, on the surface, it may just look like water, but then you go under the water and it's like a whole world that literally, like, we haven't even explored all of our oceans yet. Okay. And we've been humans on planet Earth for how long now? And we still haven't explored all of the oceans. This is like your emotions can almost cloud the water because they're so deep and so intense. Don't shun away from that. Don't shun your emotions. Just understand that they're showing you information. Gather your emotions like you gather information. Okay, I'm feeling fear around this specific topic or confusion around this specific topic. Get more information about it then. That's simple as that. A plus B equals C. Get more information about that. I feel like it's this Three of Pentacles keeps looking at me and it's saying, make it simple. 1, 2, 3. Go, stop, caution. The fear is showing you where you need to have caution. Okay? Then you do more research on it and you really get that clarity through learning more about it. And then whether it's a stop or a go, is going to become even more clear to you. I also heard taking risks. Like this boat here in this Karina card is taking a risk, but it's like calculated because it's upright. Now, if it was reversed, this would be a very big warning sign. But to me, this is like you're kind of flirting with danger here, but you are able to navigate. These boats go out there and fish for all sorts of fish and crab and salmon and all that stuff in treacherous waters. They don't shun away from it or shy away from it out of fear. No, what they do is they empower themselves with knowledge to be able to navigate safely treacherous waters. And that is where you're at, water signs. Okay, so the fact that the emergence and the destiny card are out here with dragon energy is huge. Now, the way I like to feel about dragon energy is big energy. It's like cosmic, large, overarching umbrella energy. So that, like I said, the universe is moving us forward as a humanity. And guess what? You're part of that. If you're watching this reading, you're probably human. You're going through this transformation, whether you want to or not. So this is about like, let's make sure you pop out the other side in a better place, like on the path of destiny by dissipating a lot of this confusion, discernment. I want to read that card right now, actually. I'm going back over here to the bottom of the deck, unicorn energy. It says discernment, and I love this card. Take a look. She's very much like, people might look at her and be like, oh, she looks like a bitch. But it's like, no, absolutely not. What she's doing is she's using discernment. And sometimes you have to tell people, no, thank you, out of your own discernment. So it says, all is not as it seems. Stay true to your knowing. Keep your dreams a secret. So to me, this is like, now is not the time to stand on the rooftops shouting to the world your hopes, wishes, dreams, goals, and and the like. This is saying you right now and the reason that is because sometimes there are times in our lives when we are needing to tell the world and show up for the world and be seen. But now is not the time to necessarily like go out there and be seen, because the more you involve other people's energy in your journey of going towards your destiny and your hopes, wishes, and dreams can add extra confusion, because now you've got the opinions of a bunch of other people around you feeding into your brain and into your emotions about what it is that you are trying to achieve here. So this is why it's saying, like, keep your cards close to your chest at the moment. Don't be shouting to the rooftops exactly what you're doing and why, only to maybe a very small few trusted friends. And you'll know who those people are, because they're not the kind of people to try to dissuade you, or they're the people that would help you with clarity, if anything. So this is why it says, not all is not what it seems, okay? Because this is why the get clear card is here, is because things aren't showing up exactly how they actually are yet, but they will. Gaining knowledge, learning about the thing, you're knowing, which water signs need to pay attention to how your physical body reacts to certain people, places, and things, how your emotions feel. This is all information to help you get clear, all of it. So instead of allowing it to confuse you, get clear on it, write it down. I feel like taking everything that you're feeling and just word dumping it on a piece of paper, all of it, without holding back, is going to help you get clear. Okay, so very cool, this Emergence and Destiny card, the fact that they've come out. This is a baby dragon, so very much about new beginnings. Okay, and then the Destiny is like looking towards the emergence. So it's allowing yourself to emerge with grace and with power. All right, I want to look at the other cards that we have here. All right, we've got the Unicorn card. Let's see. Ooh, expansion. Wow. Okay, so this is literally the reason why you're on this particular transformational journey at this moment, and why things may seem a little murky, is because you are expanding. And I'll tell you one thing, water signs, expanding isn't always a joyful experience. It can be, depending on your perspective, like how broad is your perspective. Sometimes expansion is painful. I'll use this example. Growing muscles, like gaining strength at the gym. You have to go and lift weights, basically. You have to tear your muscles so that they can rebuild and expand. That's what you're doing, is you're expanding your muscles. Well, guess what? It's not necessarily the most comfortable thing on the planet to go tear your muscles at the gym to be able to grow them, okay? So sometimes expansion can be really uncomfortable. Like I just saw a lobster or a crab. When they've expanded to the capacity of their shell, they are so incredibly uncomfortable that they are willing to pop themselves out of their protective shell, be vulnerable, which means that, they're easy prey, in order to grow or find a new shell in which they have more space and expansion. So this is why the discernment card is coming out here, and getting clear card is coming out, because you are basically making yourself vulnerable for the sake of expansion. You are basically dealing with a lot of fear, worry, and doubt, but that is not there to hold you back. What it is there is to help you see where you need to get more information, where you need to get more clear, because you're on this expansion journey. Usually, when we expand as human beings, we have to step out of our comfort zone, and that is not comfortable. Also, I like to call the comfort zone, not the comfort zone, but the familiar zone, because it's not necessarily always comfortable, but it's familiar. But somewhere deep in your heart that it's not the right fit for you, that you need to actually grow and expand and be bigger than you are currently. So this expansion card says, spread your wings and soar, share your message, and shine your light. Show the world what you're made of. Okay? So this is, excuse me, somebody out there needs to clear their throat chakra. Who's afraid to speak their truth? Who's afraid to rock the apple cart? That's what I want to know. Get your throat chakra cleared. Anyway, maybe that's just a message for me. So this expansion, even though it says share your message and shine your light. So this is, and this is saying, it can seem a little of a conflicting message of like, keep your cards close to your chest and then go out there and shine your light, spread your wings. This is talking about for you, to you, about you, or your destiny. Because once you've made this expansion, absolutely shout it from the rooftops. But I feel like in this moment, you're quite vulnerable right now. But you're on the path of expansion. So it's not going to be like that forever, water signs. You're not going to feel scared or vulnerable or worried forever. No, this is saying you are on your way to expanding. You're emerging into your destiny through expansion. So now I want to look at the tarot card that you've got. Oh, the Six of Pentacles. Okay. I think what is going to help also with being able to really get clear is balancing yourself out. The give and the take. Okay, notice it's a 6, but there's like 3 on this side, 1 in the middle, and then 2 on this side. He's giving to this person over here, but not to this person over here, and he's holding scales. So this is saying that you need to really balance out who you give your time to, who you give your money to. You need to give more to yourself is what I'm hearing. You need to see who's already received plenty of your time, money, and attention, and it's time to give to other people who haven't received as much. So like, it may seem cruel that he's only giving to one and not the other, but we don't know the backstory. Maybe this guy has already received so much from this guy. And he's like, you know what? You keep begging for more, but I've already given you so much. And yet you keep begging for more as if you're still destitute. I got to help other people. Like, you got to figure your shit out. You know what I mean? So he is the master of giving and receiving in balance, because part of giving is also receiving. You can't give and give and give without receiving as well. That is how you block your own abundance, by the way, is if you give and give and give without receiving, like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, out of some weird sense of humility, it's like, no, receiving is fine too. Somebody gives you a compliment, you say thank you. You take it. If somebody gives you something or pays for something, you just say thank you. Also, this can go the other way around. You can take and take and take and take and take without giving, and that is absolutely unbalanced and will actually block you from your abundance. Even though it seems counterintuitive to, well, I've got to hold on to what I've got. I can't give any of this away. I won't have any, It's like, no, in order to receive, you have to give. In order to give, you have to receive. So it requires balance, and that is what this card is asking you to do. Also, this is the card of the charity card. So I find that really interesting. It's about giving charity. So it may seem like, what I'm hearing is give where you can, but do it within balance. Like, if you're doing it at the detriment of yourself, then that is absolutely a no. This guy is obviously doing very well for himself, but he's not just sitting there holding on to all of his, glory and money and time and being like, ha, it's all for me. None of you get any of it. I've had to work so hard for all of this. And because I've had to work so hard with all of this, none of you get anything. You weren't here to help me grow. But it's like, no, what this is saying is, become abundant on your own terms, but then help those that are still struggling. It's okay to be giving, okay? It's okay to be giving, even if you feel like you're in a place of lack. If you feel like you're in a place of lack, see where you need to give to yourself and less to others, or maybe give more to others and less to yourself, depending on where the balance is, So that is going to be very much about fair share, not equal share. I don't like the word equal, because equal isn't always fair. So to me, this is about what is fair? Who has received more of your time, money, and energy than other people? And who hasn't really received much of your time, money, or energy? It's time to give to those people. And if that's you, time to give to yourself a little bit more. Okay. But yeah, this is about just being fair, not always taking and taking and taking, not always giving and giving and giving. This is balance. This is being able to have that discernment to see who has been asking for too much or not asking enough, or who you have played favorites with when it's time to stop playing favorites. In fact, you should be your favorite, but then from that place, be able to share and give. And the way that I remind myself that it's okay to receive, because, I grew up having to give a lot. And if I took, I felt guilty because, I had 4 other brothers and sisters to share things with. So if I took something for myself, I felt selfish, which that's not healthy either, because as a human being, you must take. At some point, you must take. And it is not selfish to take. It's just as long as it's within balance, of course. But the exercise that I like to help me remind myself of how to give and take within balance is, okay, so I want you to take a breath, okay? And I want you to take a breath and take a breath and take a breath and take a breath. All right? At some point, your lungs are going to hurt and you're going to need to give that breath back. Give the breath back. And it goes the other way. Okay, give a breath. Give a breath. Give a breath. Give a breath until you can't anymore. You're going to have to take at some point. So the breath is a perfect example of what it means to give and take in a balanced manner. Okay. If it's out of balance, you're not going to have the amount of oxygen you need to survive. So balance, give, and take. Okay. It's going to help you be able to get clear, use that discernment, avoid these treacherous waters that you are navigating at this moment, walk away from the things that no longer serve you, know when it's a green light go, red light stop, and an orange light caution. Be around the people that actually help you feel more clear, feel more clarity. Those are the people you need to have in your life. Because right now, this is about focusing your energy inward on you and your destiny and your journey, because you're going through a transformation. You are emerging from your transformation and expanding into your destiny, okay? And it's going to be able to give you I just heard a message. This whole process of transformation, expansion into your destiny is giving you financial freedom and abundance enough that you are going to be able to give to those who are in need. The charity card, okay? Literally right here. So yeah, you are the butterfly literally breaking out of the cocoon. You are emerging, okay, from this transformation, because I feel like you've been going through this transformation and you are unfurling your wings to take flight towards your destiny, okay? And that destiny is full of financial stability, balance, money, and love. Charity, another definition for the word charity in biblical terms is the pure love of Christ. Okay, the pure love of Christ. That is what you are going to be receiving in abundance in the future. Your heart is going to be full. Your coin coffers are going to be full. Your emotions are going to be full because you are getting rid of the things that no longer serve you, okay? So that you're basically letting go of emotional baggage, okay? So that you can actually be light enough to fly free towards your destiny, okay? Wow, water signs, way to just, come out of the gate swinging. This is a really powerful message. This is like deep, transformational, something that almost feels like out of your control. It's just happening. So this is why this reading's here, is not to make it so that I got to do this, I got to do that, blah, blah, blah. This is just giving you the edge on the journey that's already taking place. Is look at the things that no longer serve you. Get clear, navigate things that seem treacherous, like the icebergs, you can only see the very tip on the top of the water. There's a lot more going on underneath the surface than meets the eye. And it's about getting clear on that, really allowing yourself to face fear and see fear not as something to be afraid of, but something to learn from. What are you showing me, fear? What are you trying to protect me from? What belief system am I holding onto that would make me feel this way? There's many different ways, and that's why, journaling, word dumping, word vomiting into a journal, reading books that will be helpful, using discernment, being around people who help you feel clear, walking away from the things that no longer emotionally fulfill you. This is the process that you've been going through. Continue doing that. Continue to gain knowledge on the things that make you feel unsure. Because through that, just by proxy of learning more about it, will become more clear. Okay? Okay, thank you so much, water signs, for being with me in this general reading portion. Now I am actually going to go into the individual signs here. We're starting with Pisces, then we're going with Cancer, and then we're going with Scorpio. And a little fun thing here as well is after each specific zodiac sign that I'm doing, I will be drawing a crystal from my wonderful crystal box to see what crystal energy is going to help you on this next leg of the journey as well. So if I were you, like I said in the beginning, stick around for the entire reading, because there will be messages in every single part of this entire reading. But for those that don't want to or don't have the time, for your convenience, I do put the timestamps in the description box below. Okay. All right. I thank you so much. And so let's get started with Pisces. Let's go ahead and see. Okay. Ooh, interesting. We have the Emperor and 10 of Air. So the Emperor card is depicted by using the sign of Leo. This is about reputation, showmanship, chivalry, and loyalty. If any of you are familiar with the tarot, the Emperor card is a major arcana. And so is this one. And the Emperor is like the ultimate father energy, ultimate male energy. It is boss energy, basically. And then the 10 of Air is about flaunting prowess, gains by unsavory means. So we'll definitely have to go into this. So this is the card Perseus, 10 of Air, which in a traditional tarot deck, the 10 of Air is like the 10 of Swords, which is about things that are dead, done, over with kind of thing. So, all right, let's reveal this third card here. We have the Queen of Wands. Wow. I love the art depicting this card. She is very much in her power. She knows what she's about. She's creating literal magic with her stick of power and the palm of her hand. Just look at that. Look at that. She is in full joy and full abundance. The thing about the Queen of Wands is she knows what she's about. She is very powerful, and she's one of the most attractive cards in the entire tarot deck. And it's about that fiery passion. So I'm seeing this fiery passion here on both ends, in male and female energy. And yet, for some reason in the middle, we have this Perseus card. So let me get into the book and see more information about this card here. I just heard that some of you might be dealing with a male energy in your life that needs to be like a dead, done, over with. You need to let this energy go, so that you can step into your power, because this whole reading is about getting clear discernment so that you can avoid a disastrous situation, moving on from the things that no longer emotionally serve you, to be able to build a future worth living. You are on a transformational journey, and By the way, don't mind the light fluctuating. The clouds, the sun has come out. It's a partially cloudy day, so the clouds are moving in and out from in front of the sun. So just don't worry about that. Okay, let's look at the Ten of Air. I think we need to get more information about this. So it says, Perseus. Perseus has a long history of carrying out outrageous acts in order to prove himself to anyone that might challenge his abilities. After a heated discussion regarding his inability to bring a wedding present to the king, Polydectes of Seriphos, Perseus exclaimed that he would bring back anything the king wanted. Seeing this as his chance to send Perseus to his doom, the king of Seriphos asked for the head of Medusa, the Gorgon. The story goes that Perseus appeared before Medusa as she rested, ready to behead her while she was at her most vulnerable. The card depicts Medusa sitting and waiting her death, with Perseus's sword resting against her neck. Here, Medusa is a victim of circumstance, caught between a hateful king and a petulant youth. Medusa becomes a casualty of the two men's game. In many of his myths, Perseus carries Medusa's head with him to take advantage of her stony glare on his many enemies. Upright, this card signifies a victory, but one that was won by unsavory means, or an act portrayed as more than it was meant to be. In of another's layoff or a prize won because of another person's mistake. It is a challenge to us to inspect our own trophies and those of others for the truth behind the prize. Okay, so this is great. See, this is why I love this deck, is because it takes the meaning beyond just the regular tarot, and it applies it to Greek mythology oftentimes, because it's heavily, this whole deck is about different constellations. And so we can see here Medusa. That's why I was confused. I'm like, that doesn't look like Perseus. It looks like Medusa. Well, it makes sense now. She literally is accepting her fate. She looks like she's almost like in a prison cell, accepting her fate. Look at that face. She looks so like, well, this is it. Like fear. It's not a peaceful look with the sword up against her neck. And for those of you who don't know the story of Medusa, it's actually really, really sad. Like, we have been taught that she is a villain. And yeah, she definitely did some not so good things, but she did it out of, because she was treated so poorly. She was, not to go into details, but basically she was deeply wronged by the men in her life and abused on many, many different levels. And out of that anger from abuse, she became Medusa, because it was like basically her saying no more. This mythology is about women who become vicious with their boundaries because they've been hurt by men before in the past. So what I'm hearing, and I knew as soon as Spirit said grab 2 cards, I knew this had to do with a relationship. Now, the nature of this relationship is going to apply specifically to your story. So this could be a relationship between you and a workplace. This could be a relationship between you and a lover, which I feel like is most of you. This could, though, also be the relationship between you and yourself. So keep that in mind, apply it to how it applies to you specifically. But what I'm feeling is you are Medusa. You have been hurt in the past before by this masculine energy. Because it's funny, because the Emperor is depicted by a female in this card. This could be, and I'm hearing this could be roles reversed. The fact that the Perseus card doesn't depict Perseus, only the tip of his blade, but it depicts Medusa, is telling you that there is another side to the story. that you aren't seeing, but that's why you're here in this reading. I really feel that the get clear and use discernment, because not all is what as it seems, and that in and of itself is going to help you avoid a crisis by moving away from the things that no longer serve you to build your life. I feel like you've been hurt, Pisces, by people in the past, big time. You've been hurt, you've been abused by people in the past, and this could be masculine energy, this could be feminine energy. I'm just going to say this masculine energy because this is an Emperor card, but just understand that it could be a male or female, okay? My reading is not gender specific, even though I do use male and female language, okay? I hope that you can understand. So the fact that we've got female, 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 yet these two are supposed to be male, it's almost like what I feel like is you have been abused in the past, but you've been hurt by men in the past, and I almost feel like you are accepting your fate in a way. It's like you're taking what you can get because that's all you've been able to get. But it's like, no, you are meant for more. The Queen of Wands at the end of this is such a blessing. So yes, this Emperor card about reputation, showmanship, chivalry, loyalty. I feel like what you desire in a partner, and just as a reminder, this could be a love relationship that I'm talking about, or it could be a job relationship that I'm talking about, or whatever, fill in the blank. You are looking for somebody that is loyal to you, somebody who is chivalrous in their actions, who has the ability to be the ultimate leader, a leader. But a good leader is someone who is able to build a positive reputation through their positive actions. An emperor doesn't necessarily make friends with everybody. However, they know what they are about, and they have the ability and the prowess to be able to show off their gifts, skills, and abilities. You are looking for somebody who's in their power. I keep hearing job, so it's like some of you really are involved in a job that is not embodying its full potential or its full power. I feel like that this Emperor is not you. I feel like you are the Queen of Wands here. And what you're experiencing is these two cards here, the Emperor and the Ten of Air, or this Leo card and this Perseus card. Okay? I feel like there was such potential in this masculine energy or this job situation or whatever, to like build up your reputation or like be able to, it's almost like the person came in and I'm just reminding you again, when I say person, you can replace the word with job or whatever. It's like whatever this person, place, or thing that came into your life was really like, oh yeah, we have an amazing reputation. I've got a lot of skills. Here, let me show off and let me show you how loyal I am to you. Look how good I am to you. You know what I mean? It's like very much like showy, like more, I want to say all talk and no show. As in like they show you what they're all about, but is that really what they're all about? There's some hidden energy here. The fact that the whole water sign reading is about getting clear because not all is as it seems is telling me that this boss energy that's in your life, this person that's taking over, this boss energy in your life, or maybe it is an actual boss, or maybe it's a boyfriend, or maybe a domineering girlfriend, or maybe it's your masculine energy, or your ability to step into a boss energy. I feel like you need to avoid this. You need to get away from this. You need to avoid this. Usually the Emperor, I see that as a positive card, but in this reading, I'm not seeing it very positive because I feel very strongly that it's connected with Perseus. Perseus would be the epitome of an emperor who's embodying the more dark side of leadership. So it's like showing off, like, oh, I'm so good. I'm better than you. Look how amazing we are. Look, this is for your own good. Like it's almost like they're filling your head full of shit to be able to trap you in a way. And it's like, do not lay down and take this as your fate, because if you do, you're getting cut. Like, it's gonna cut. Flaunting prowess, gains by unsavory means like, okay, so you have, this is why I feel the emperor is coming in here, is because the emperor's coming in here to show off. Yet, even though it may look good on the surface, this whole show off energy, it really is like, okay, well, how did you get to that place? So it's like people are like, oh, I worked so hard to get where I'm at today. I'm a boss bitch, or you know what I mean? I'm the leader, I'm the boss. I've worked so hard to get to where I am today. But really, they connived behind people's backs to get them fired in order to open up the position in which then they took. Okay, so don't do that. This is a warning, I feel like, for you, Pisces, of watch out for people who talk a good game, but underneath are snakes, okay? Like, they may have like this outer appearance of being a really good boss or a really good partner or a really strong leader or whatever, but underneath is like this sneaky energy. It's like very ego driven, of like, I'm better than you, or let me show off. But it's like they do it by literal like murder and rape, and I'm sorry if those are trigger words and everything. I purposely click on my videos to be not child friendly, because I like to be able to speak my mind freely without worrying about children hearing these things and being triggered, or their parents hearing them and being triggered. So I need to talk about some really sensitive stuff with you, Pisces. Okay, so just allow this message to soak in, because you yourself, Pisces, are on the path to transformation, expansion, and basically being able to live more freely, monetarily, and like financially, and to have stability and all those things, and to build a community around you that supports you in doing that. I'm feeling like you've got some sneaky ass energy around you. Okay. So the 10 of air, also known as the 10 of swords, is like something that's dead, done, over with. I feel like you know what I'm talking about, okay? Like, you might even have many places in your life that this could apply to, but I feel like some of you, it's a job specifically. Some of you, it's a lover specifically. All this person is doing is seeing that conquering you is a gain for them. It's like another tick in their, it's like ticking off a box. It's like another accolade to add to their repertoire of trophies. You know what I mean? It's like they are literally using you, Pisces, to get their own gains, and not even for good intentions. You need to get away from the snake energy. I think this is really why this is saying get clear, use discernment to avoid a potential disaster, move away from the things that no longer emotionally serve you. If you're going in being like, ah, man, this is kind of, he's kind of an energy thief, or, he talks a good game, but in the end, what is he actually showing me? What are the actions that are being shown? And how did he achieve these actions? Was it through shady means? Pay attention to that, because you, Pisces, are showing up as the Queen of Wands. You're gaining fire. You need to gain more fire, and you are gaining more fire. I feel like you're gaining more fire through you're gaining more fire through understanding your goals and what you are about, and then taking that power that you've gained, that stick of power that you have, and using it as a walking stick to move forward, out and away from the things that no longer emotionally serve you. So do you see this stick here in her hand? She's literally empowering herself with it in order to get up and move, get up and walk away. Cut those things out of your life is what I'm seeing. The fact that the only thing we get to see of Perseus is the tip of his sword, I think he's a coward. I think that whoever or whatever it is or whatever situation you're dealing with, they're cowardly. But how they mask this cowardliness is through boss bitch energy. Like, oh, I'm the boss. Oh, this is for your own good. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Oh, I totally understand. I'm there. I'm with you. I'm on your side. But really, they're there to get what's theirs and fucking leave. Okay, Pisces? Like, I'm getting kind of worked up for you. I'm getting kind of angry for you. Okay? So just, I hope that this reading helps. I hope that it's not like too intense for you. I hope this is not to fear monger you, but it is saying like, I know that you know who this is or what this is in your life that you need to walk away from. You need to get away from this, because I know part of you, I feel some of you saying, well, but I've had to like let go of so much, or I've had to do this over and over and over again. When will I find the right job? When will I find the right partner? When will I find the right energy, the right people, places, and things? Well, that is literally through getting clear about your goals, using that discernment, and moving away from the things that no longer emotionally serve. Because here's the thing is, you might not have quantities of friends, but you're going to have quality friends that actually help you build what it is you want, okay? You are going through a transformation, and a transformation in and of itself requires something to be let go of in order for that empty space to be filled with the things that actually are bringing you to your destiny. But there's not going to be room. I keep hearing no room in the inn. You have to make room by letting this shit go. Anything that has a lot of showiness, showmanship, like, oh yes, they talk a good game, they talk themselves up, they're like, yeah, I'm awesome, I'm a badass, blah blah blah, like in a way that's sick, in a way that's hiding their insecurities. Why would Perseus go and kill this woman who's been through so much that she had to become Medusa in order to keep herself safe? Because that is what that story is about boundaries, basically. Like, she had to basically turn herself into a monster to get the men to leave her alone. And yet in the end, she still gets murdered. She still gets killed. Like Medusa's way of approaching things isn't necessarily healthy either. It's like, just because you've been hurt many, many times doesn't mean you turn into a villain, because then you hurt people is what I keep hearing. Hurt people. So if you're getting hurt by somebody or a person, place, or thing, you need to get away from that. It's not your job to fix them. It's your job to empower yourself and know what you're about and move forward. You have the power. You have the fire. You have the magic stick. You have the ability to take what you know and your knowledge and your capability, ignite that flame within you, and move forward into your life. Not for the sake of anybody else, okay? You're not doing this for anybody else. You're doing this for you, honey. You're doing this for you, babe, okay? So Pisces, this is an amazing reading. A little intense, not gonna lie. Not what I was expecting, even though I knew it had something to do with a relationship. But before we go, let me go ahead and draw a stone for you. Actually, I'm just gonna leave this here while I draw a stone. So let me go get my magic box. Here's my magic box. It's a Christmas box, so make a wish as I draw a stone for you. Okay, Pisces. What stone? Well, let's see. What stone does Pisces need? Okay. We have it. Pisces, you have the lovely dragon's bloodstone to be specific. Let me bring it closer, get my camera to focus on it. Now, these pieces, come in all shapes and sizes. This is just a tumbled piece. The dragon stone is a stone of strength, of health, and of willpower, okay? I feel like this stone is going to help ground you as well as get in touch and in tune with what you're about. This stone is very much about being brave in times of hardship, being brave in times of transition and change, being brave to take on the things that you might be scared to do, okay? Be brave to cut out the people in your life that no longer serve, that may be taking your energy, that may be taking from you, okay? You need to boss up your own energy. The fact that the Queen of Wands is here is boss energy. It's time for you to be the boss, but do it in a way that's not taking advantage of other people or doing it in sly ways. No more gossiping, okay? No more allowing people to come in and take your energy, okay? I'm getting a side message for some of you to not be Perseus. This is a very small amount of you. I feel like most Pisces have a strong sense of integrity, but I want to say that some of you need to be careful to not gain power or positions of power or authority at the expense of other people. Be careful of that. If that seems to be the case, that is a red fucking flag, baby. Like, watch out for that. But I don't feel like that's you. I feel like you're dealing with people who are that way, though. You Pisces are dealing with people who are sly, who are snaky, who act like boss energy, but really they aren't. They are cruel. They take advantage, and it's time to get away from those people, but not in a sense of you're weak and you running away. No, this is about empowering yourself, saying, you know what? I am the master of my own destiny. I am a sexy motherfucker, and I'm ready to own myself and my life and my energy and move forward in a way that feels expansive, a way that feels like you're moving into your own destiny, a way that makes you feel connected with the people around you so that you can build a future for yourself in which is supportive and financially abundant and stable and all those wonderful, wonderful things we all wish we had and all have the potential to have in this lifetime, okay? You are not apart from that, Pisces. I want to show you, let's see if I can get this to focus. There's red in here. You can barely see it, if you can see it at all, but there is red in the dragon's bloodstone because this is a stone of grounding yourself through heart energy. I'm going to say that again. Grounding yourself through heart energy, Pisces. That is what you are here to do right now. You're here to protect yourself. This is a very protective stone too. Because dragons don't fuck around, okay? And this is very much a fire stone. Very fiery, but in a grounded, heart-centered way. This is going to help you boss up. This is going to help you see who you need to let go of. This is going to help you take care of your own energy. And through that is going to show you what needs to stay and what needs to go. Okay. Because no more compromising for the sake of other people. You're done doing that. It's now time to move on. So this is how this stone is going to help you with getting clear and using discernment. Because I think a lot of what that requires is for you to get grounded and connect with nature. Like this Get Clear card, she's connecting with nature. So carry this stone around with you. It will help seal up any energy leaks. It will help you get restful sleep. It will help you say no with confidence. It will help you make those decisions that you're unsure of. It will help you understand what you are about. The fact that I drew 2 dragon cards for the water signs only, and you're the only one, Pisces, that got 2 of these cards. And I see why, because if the Perseus card wasn't here, this Emperor and Queen of Wands energy would have a completely different story. But the fact that there's this 10 of Swords and this Perseus card with the Medusa in between these 2 cards, this male-female energy is huge. So get yourself a piece of dragon's bloodstone today from your local shop, or check out my Etsy. I've got plenty of stones there too. But either way, Pisces, thank you so much for being here with me and trusting me to do this reading for you. Please take what resonates only, leave the rest for somebody else. And I hope that this helps you in future endeavors. Okay, Pisces, I love you so much. And I am now going to go into Cancer's reading. Okay, Cancer. I have 2 cards for you, one from the Cosmos Tarot deck and the other one from my Lightseers Tarot deck. So let's see what you have, Cancer. You have the 7 of Fire, or Hydra, and Temperance, but it was reversed. I feel we need to keep it reversed. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, so be patient with me here. Okay, so what I'm getting already is you are you're going through something kind of difficult, and you're feeling a little bit impatient about it. You're like, I just want to know what's happening right now. I just want to know what's going on. I want everything to be revealed right now. And what I'm hearing from Spirit is saying, like, you have to, not yet. You have to take these things one step at a time. For the Hydra, if anybody of you know of the lore of Hydras, basically it's a sea creature with many heads, and when you cut off one head, I think it's like 2 grow in its place or 3 grow in its place. Basically, if you try to slay the Hydra, you're creating more and more of a problem for yourself because you know, when you slice off one head, because it's got like 7 heads or something like that, it's a many-headed sea serpent basically, and so when you cut off one head of the sea serpent, 2 more grow in its place. So it's like the more that you fight against something, the more of a problem it becomes. And I feel like that is exactly why the Temperance card is here reversed, because the Temperance card is all about balance and patience, for the sake of transformation, for the sake of transmutation, basically turning lead into gold, turning trauma and pain into blessings and abundance. Okay, I feel like Cancer, you've been on a lifelong journey of that, and this is the next leg of the journey. Because you definitely are being reborn again. You are emerging into your destiny through expansion. You are transforming, okay? You are leaving the things that no longer serve behind. You are needing to learn to get clear and use discernment on what it is that you need to be careful with and walk away from that could potentially be treacherous for you. So this is your message in order to how to make that happen, is to stop fighting. Stop fighting yourself. Stop fighting against yourself. That's what I keep hearing, is stop fighting against yourself. Stop fighting against the people who would be helpful to you. This is not from, okay, there are many messages coming out for many different cancers, so obviously take what resonates. But so when I say stop fighting against yourself, I keep hearing like old programming. It's like you're still operating on an old operating system. It's time to update that shit, Cancer. You need to update that shit. You need to let some of that stuff go because it's not serving you anymore. How do you talk to yourself? How do you respond to situations that are painful? How do you respond to people you don't like? Do you listen to the opinions of other people? Do you listen to your own opinion? Are you open to receiving new information? Are you willing to have difficult conversations? These are questions to ask yourself, you know. It's a very important thing to have an open mind at this time. I feel like having an open mind at this time is going to help you gain that clarity to be able to have the discernment, to be able to avoid issues, okay? So the Hydra card, it says, persevering against incredible odds, survival. Now I see this woman here, and I'm curious to know what she's about. So we're going to go into the book to see more about the mythology around Hydra. So let me grab the book really quick. Also, I do have to say that the 7 of Fire is equivalent to the 7 of Wands in the regular tarot deck. This is obviously not a regular tarot deck, but the regular tarot deck, the 7 of Wands, is about standing up for yourself. It's about creating boundaries, fighting off the people who would mean harm to you. I just heard shielding yourself from those that would do you harm. Extremely important right now. Okay, so Hydra is the 7 of Fire. Let's go ahead and get into the book for this. Here it is. Persevering against incredible odds, survival. The Hydra is a near indomitable foe from Greek mythology. This immense serpent had such hopelessly poisonous breath and blood so virulent Its smell alone meant certain death. This vile enemy represents the presence of overwhelming odds and incredibly destructive forces. At the end of Hydra's story, Hercules managed to overcome the beast, proving that even the most daunting tasks can be overcome with strength and perseverance. In a reading, this card is about persevering against incredible odds. It's all about surviving, not necessarily about winning, and certainly not about conquering. If one manages to be standing at the end of the battle, they have succeeded. I just got chills reading that last part. I freaking love that for you, Cancer. So, and that's exactly why the Temperance card is here, by the way. It's because this is not about what did it say? Now I got to turn back into the book. There was a certain line in there that made me think of the Temperance card. Overcome with strength and perseverance. Okay, so like that's the Temperance card to me is perseverance. What is required for perseverance? Yes, patience. Patience is very helpful when you need to persevere and endure, okay? So this is probably I just heard a lot of you groan like, ugh, this again. I'm tired of persevering. I just want to win. But it's like you surviving is winning, okay? You don't know how you were in a past life, or maybe some of you do, but I feel like the more that you continue to press forward and move on with love and strength and patience, even if you feel completely beat up at the end of the battle. Like it said, if you are still standing at the end of a battle, you have won, Cancer. So give yourself some goddamn credit, okay? Give yourself a pat on the back that you've even survived this far, because you've been through it, Cancer, okay? You've been through it. The Hydra, persevering against incredible odds. And I'm not sure what this woman is doing here because I don't see it as a Hercules, but I feel that this is your spirit. It's like you see the creature for what it is. And I feel like this is your reminder to not lose yourself in the tangled mess of that which is the Hydra. This is about staying true to yourself, staying true to your spirit, because this is a very ethereal look to me. So don't get too caught up in the Hydra itself. Don't get too caught up in the many trials and tribulations you have gone through. Don't get too caught up in your past traumas and no matter how recent, don't get too caught up in that stuff, because that story it's old. It's done. It's not your day-to-day life. The only way that it is your day-to-day life is if you replay it in your head. Okay, so it's time to step away from that and recognize that you are powerful. Okay, the fact that Hercules is mentioned, that he came in there and was able to conquer this beast, wasn't necessarily like that it was a win, but more that he survived. Okay, because the Hydra is one of the most formidable beasts in Greek mythology. So the fact that you can even walk away from that is huge. And what you're going to need to be able to make that happen is patience. And that's why I feel like it's a little bit blocked right now. You're feeling a little out of balance, out of sorts, out of whack. Maybe there's some stuff that's hit you pretty hard recently with these transformations, or something's about to hit you pretty hard. If you're like, oh, my life's fine. Well, just wait, honey. Like, it's coming, because the sun and the moon here on this card makes me think of anything that's like a new moon, because this is a black moon. I just heard black moon Lilith. So maybe if you're into astrology, look at where your black moon Lilith is in your chart, and that will show you kind of like where you've been struggling a lot. Also, eclipses. So there's an eclipse happening, the Great American Eclipse happening at the end of this month, March, when I'm recording this. And of course, this is a timeless reading, but either way, eclipses happen twice a year, springtime and then in the fall time. So no, even if it's on a different part of the planet, this is saying that usually big transformations and shifts happen around those times, or at least the beginnings of them. We might not see the fruition of it right in that moment. Some of us will, but some of us are going to need some patience. I feel like, Cancer, you are one of them that is going to need some patience when it comes to the transformations happening in your life, to keep fighting the good fight, keep fighting the good fight. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep persevering. Keep pushing through. Keep waking up every day. Keep showing up. Keep walking through those doors. Keep showing up, being there for yourself, okay? Because Temperance also is a card of angelic help. So you are being carried by angels right now. It may not feel like it, but sometimes being carried by angels doesn't feel super glamorous. Sometimes it feels more like they kept you from dying. Like, that's what I keep hearing is being carried by angels isn't always like, I'm floating on a cloud or floating on cloud 9. It's more like when you get into a car wreck and we're literally centimeters away from getting like severed in half, or you know what I mean? Like you were literally centimeters away from being crushed to death. That is being carried on angels' wings. They are literally a buffer between life and death for you. And so to walk around not being, I'm hearing gratitude will help you recognize that even though you don't feel like I'm a winner, I'm winning at life, look at me, I'm amazing, blah, 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 like everything is exactly how it should be, peachy keen. It's more of, I have survived. I'm a survivor. I have survived and I will continue to survive. And then seeing through gratitude how your angels have actually helped you survive. Otherwise, you would have perished many times over again, I feel like, from your own foolish choices based out of emotional need. And having emotional needs is not bad, but how you go about getting those emotional needs fulfilled can be toxic and bad. So the angels have protected you from the worst, okay? So, and I hear some of you saying, well, I've been through the worst. Well, honey, apparently it could have been a lot worse, because these angels are telling me right now they have carried you through the battle of a Hydra, okay? The only reason why you were able to survive is because your angelic guidance, angelic protection, okay? So this is why God, Spirit, is saying to have gratitude. God and Spirit, they're not like jealous. They're not like, oh my God, they haven't said thank you yet. But it does help. Like, Spirit wants to help those who are full of gratitude. So instead of having a pity party for yourself, which I know is really, really easy to do, and we sometimes need to wallow a little bit, and that's fine. I'm not saying not to have a pity party or wallow, but I'm saying at a certain point, you're going to have to dry your tears, pick yourself back up and realize that you are still standing, and you give yourself a pat on the back and a hug, and you say, thank you, Spirit, for being there for me when no one else was. Okay? Thank you, Spirit, for being there with me in the most trying times in my life. Thank you, Spirit, for being the buffer between me and certain death. Because here's the thing is, I can hear some of you as well, like, I kind of wish I would have just died. I would be done. I wouldn't have to deal with this. No, not true. You'd have to come back just in another life and start over again, okay? Do you really want to do that? If life is a game and it has 100 levels and you're at level 59, okay? You're over halfway. Do you really want to, die? Boop, game over. Now you got to start again from level 1. No. Or would you rather pick yourself up and realize, yeah, you know what? That battle wasn't necessarily glorious, but I'm still standing here today. That is a win, Cancer. I feel like this is saying you need to give yourself more credit in the fact that you need to celebrate your little wins. I keep looking at these little butterflies here in the transform card, and that is part of what you need to do to transform, is to celebrate all of the little wins, every single tiny one of them. If that means getting up, brushing your teeth, that is a win. Okay, there's people out there going days without brushing their teeth. If you brush your teeth, that's a win. If you take a shower, that's a win. If you eat healthy, that's a win. If you drink water today, that's a win. Give yourself some credit and some love for all the little wins. The fact that this transform card, you have the whole water sign readings has been nothing but transformations and walking away from the things that no longer serve and getting clear about that. Old operating systems, old patterns of behavior, old belief systems, old thought systems, old ways of talking to yourself inside your own head need to go. You need to let those things go. If you're a worrywart, Stop it. Because where has that actually gotten you? You know, if you just sit there worried about, oh, somebody can break in at any moment and I'm afraid to be home alone. Oh, I got to lock all the doors and close all the blinds and put cameras everywhere. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, so if somebody does break in, is that worrying going to help you, or is saying, hey, what would I do if somebody did? And then actually like empowering yourself with the knowledge, you know, also discerning yourself, like where I live in this state, in this city, it's super safe. And of course there's a level of danger just about anywhere you go, but super, super safe. So if you're, and this is just an example, if you're worried to death that you're going to get murdered on the streets in the middle of the day, especially if you live in a safe place like I do, honey, you're just torturing yourself at that point by having those evil thoughts just run rampant in your mind without you stopping and questioning them, like, hey, what are you doing here and why? And is this valid? You know, everything we think and feel is valid. It's just whether or not it deserves our full attention or not. Some of you are going to hate me for saying this, but I'm going to say this. Those of you who believe absolutely every thought that goes through your head and every feeling that goes through your heart are foolish, because guess what? Every single thought is not always the truth, okay? It's not the ultimate truth. Every single thought you have is not the ultimate truth, okay? A lot of it is old programming from childhood traumas, okay? So it's time to actually take a look at that and reprogram. Rewrite the program. You have the power to rewrite the program, especially if you connect with God, if you connect with spirit and you ask for help, okay? This Temperance card is about turning water into wine. It's about turning lead into gold. It's about taking your traumas and turning them into your strengths. Now, that used to confuse me for the longest time. Like, how can I turn my biggest traumas into my greatest strengths? You know, and it's just like, okay, for an example, some people think that I talk way too much. It's like, Charity, you don't filter your thoughts enough, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, some people actually want to hear what I have to say. And it's not even me half the time. It's me channeling spirit. I'm just a conduit, okay? So it's like, instead of being disempowered by, oh, people think I talk too much, I better be quiet. What I do is say, you know what? I embody that superpower and I am going to own it. And I own it by making my own channel and making my own videos where all I get to do is talk, and people love it. People love it when I talk. So it's just a matter of realizing that your greatest downfall or your greatest weaknesses can become your greatest strengths. It really depends on how you look at it, how you handle it, and all those things. So like, I just heard depression. How can I make depression my greatest strength? Well, let's think about this. So depression into greatest strength. You know how to take time to yourself. That's a big strength. You know how to have compassion for those that have gone through depression. That's a strength. So you see what I mean? Like, you can take these things that are quote unquote negative and turn them into something positive. I just heard, take that frown and turn it upside down. I don't know, that sounds like maybe that's a song or something, but basically taking that frown and turning it upside down. You're turning your weakness into your greatest strength. The Temperance card is not, also when it's reversed, can say that sometimes you've been blocking your own blessings by focusing too much on the Hydra and the fact that you're battle weary. Cancer, you're battle weary. It's time to recognize that that the fact that you're still standing after all of this, after all that's been said and done, and you're still standing, that's a win. And that is how you're going to turn your weaknesses into your strengths. And that is going to help give you the patience to continue to persevere, because guess what? This is proof that this process that you're going through, the fact that you can get clear, have discernment, to be able to move through sticky situations, away from the things that no longer emotionally serve you, into people, places, and things that are going to bring you help, basically. You're going through this transformation right now towards your destiny, okay? And this is how you do it, is by not focusing on the battles, but more of focusing on the wins, and the fact that you're still here is a win, okay, Cancer? All right, let's go ahead and draw a stone for you from my stone box. see what crystal will do you the best right now. All right, for my lovely Cancers. Okay. A few other signs have gotten this exact thing, but it's the rose quartz. Absolutely love rose quartz. Rose quartz is not only about being able to find love in your life, but able to recognize the love that you are surrounded by, as well as self-love. Self-love is absolutely huge. So take this as a sign that this is your time to give yourself lots and lots of love, bring yourself back into balance so that you can continue to persevere, because the next leg of the journey, although it may be still a journey, is bringing you to your destiny, Cancer. Okay, you are on the right path. Let this be your sign. Okay, Cancer, thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna now move on to the next sign, Scorpio. Let's go into your reading, specific sign reading, and see what you've got. Okay, first let's reveal the tarot card from my Cosmos tarot deck, and you have Centaurus, which is reversed. Now, this is a very interesting card. This is about misdirection, aggression, mistakes, and pity. However, it is reversed, which is an excellent sign. It is also the Seven of Waters here. Now, the next card is Eight of Cups. Wow. The fact that Eight of Cups has come out twice for you, and when I say twice, I mean twice, as in the general reading. The Eight of Cups right here came out for just the general overall energy sign for the water signs. So the fact that Eight of Cups has come out again for you is really driving home the fact that you are walking away from things that no longer emotionally serve you, Scorpio. And what I feel like you're walking away from is actually quite simple. It's misdirected aggression, mistakes, and pity. Now, I want to get into the book to see what else they have to say about this card, just so we can get a little bit more clarification. Okay. Seven of Water. It's going to be over here. There it is. Centaurus. Centaurus was named after Chiron, the half-horse, half-man creature in Greek mythology. In most Greek myths, centaurs were seen as lustful, untamed, and overindulgent creatures. Chiron was one of the few centaurs to break this mold, and was known far and wide as being kind, knowledgeable, a great healer, a generous teacher, and a tutor to many. This card depicts Chiron in one of his more well-known moments, having accidentally been struck by his own pupil, Hercules, with a poisoned arrow. Ironically, though Chiron was a master healer, he was unable to heal himself, and was forced to endure the pain of poison until Zeus took pity on him and released him from immortality and placed him in the stars to be memorialized. Upright. I'm going to read the upright and reversed, by the way. So the upright, this card has two meanings. One meaning indicates that no suffering is eternal. The second is a reminder that accidents happen. It does no good to hold on to a grudge or lament one's misfortunes. Additionally, this card is a reminder for those individuals that have the power to relieve another person of their suffering to act, whether that is with company, conversation, or another form of relief. So when it's reversed, it says, this card symbolizes misdirected aggression, excessive pain and suffering, and needless contemplation about one's misfortune. Okay, so I'm getting several messages just from that alone. For some of you, I feel that you have helped people. You have been helping people, from relieving people from their suffering. And now this is saying that it's time to let that go. Maybe you help someone from their suffering out of like obligation, or maybe even guilt from your own from just like their own suffering or whatever. Like I feel like some of you Scorpios have been helping people through their misfortunes, but it feels like the more that you serve these people who are really kind of aggressive, you are left wounded in the end, and then no one is there to help you. So this is why I'm feeling for you, Scorpio, that it's time for you to walk away from that. The fact that the Eight of Cups has come out twice for you specifically is an indicator of the direction that this card is in regards to you. Because like the little booklet said, the Centaurus card with Chiron on here being injured by his student's arrows and being poisoned for eternity and suffering for eternity until Zeus took pity on him and ended his suffering. It's like this is what you're doing is you've been enduring the suffering and pains of other people, I feel like. I'm sure you've had your own pain and suffering, absolutely, but I feel like you've been putting up with other people's bullshit. Not that it was ever bullshit, but the fact that at this point in the game, it's becoming bullshit. It's becoming needless suffering in a way, because I feel like these people are kind of having a pity party with themselves. It's like, okay, this can either be you having a pity party about your own suffering, or you being around people who have had pity, who are having pity parties with themselves, for themselves, and you have been there emotionally trying to heal them and help them and support them in every way possible, when clearly the universe is saying this is not your job. Your job is not to heal others through self-sacrifice, okay, Scorpio? Your job is to take care of yourself and your own emotional well-being. And part of that looks like walking away from the things that no longer serve. Look at the rendition of this Eight of Cups, okay? Funny that there's only one cup showing. It's almost like the other cups have sunken underneath this water, and have the flame inside the bowl has fizzled out. And it's like there's nothing left for you here. So it's time to walk away. It's time to walk in a different direction. In this case, I would say that wherever you have been, suffering-wise, whether it's dealing with your own suffering or the suffering of other people, other people's pity parties, other people's traumas, it's time for you to go to the other side of the field. I just heard grass is greener. So I know that's a saying that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and that may be true because the grass is greener where you water it. However, certain situations it's out of your control. It's out of your hands. It's other people causing and creating their own suffering, and you are here trying to help them, support them, love them, heal them. And I feel like it's just an eternal suffering. It's like I feel like you've been stuck in this cycle of like trying to help somebody heal beyond their suffering, and yet they just kind of like continuously do it. It's almost like you're enabling them to continue to suffer. So don't be an enabler is what I feel like this reading is about. Don't be an enabler. You are a great healer, Scorpio, but you cannot suffer other people's nonsense for the sake of their own foolishness. Like, think about it. Chiron, a great healer, he's suffering at the foolish acts of his own students who have accidentally shot him with a poisoned arrow, and now he's suffering. And the students didn't come to help. No. Who had to come in and help? Zeus, the god of all Greek gods. You know, he's the one that had to come in and help. So this is saying like Spirit has been trying to show you the door, but not the door as in like, get the fuck out. It's more of showing you the door out of a toxic environment, getting out of toxic people's lives, or just letting go emotionally of this obligation that I feel like you feel obligated to like stay and help. Maybe your own past trauma is what's feeding into this weird guilt-ridden like, I should have done better. I messed up in the past. I should have done better. And so to rectify that, to make up for that, I'm going to help this person here and now. But here's the thing is obviously the suffering is endless, and it's time for you to walk away. Whatever this is that's not emotionally fulfilling you anymore, you need to walk away, because the only thing that staying is going to do, Scorpio, is continuously injure you and enable other people. Have you ever heard of, what is it called? Learned helplessness. That's not necessarily going to apply to everybody here, but it's like the more that you stay and carry the emotions of the people around you, the more that they don't have to take personal responsibility for their own behavior. If somebody has been emotionally dumping on you, it's causing more injury to you than it is to them. You are not here to take the fall for anyone, okay? Yes, I'm sure you've made mistakes before, but it's time to learn from those mistakes and not continuously make yourself suffer to try to make up for those past mistakes. It's time for you to just say, you know what? I need to take care of myself because I'm ready to transform. I'm ready to emerge and move forward and expand on the path of my destiny. And that's going to require you letting go of the situations, people, places, things, jobs, relationships, family members, friends, children, loved ones, whatever it is that makes you feel injured, makes you feel in agony, in pain. And this might not be physical pain. This might be emotional pain. I feel very much it's emotional pain. This might be a job that you've just been suffering with this whole time. Maybe it's people in the job that you've been suffering with that you need to get away from. I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a martyr energy of like, let me take care of you and then you owe me one. But it's like, I don't feel like there's an owe you one kind of energy with you, Scorpio. I feel like you've just been selflessly giving to this situation. And these people have been taking you for granted, okay? They've been taking you for granted. The fact that Chiron is literally like super rare. He is like one of the centaurs that isn't a jerkwad, has dedicated himself to teaching people how to heal. And then next thing you know, he's literally getting shot by his own student. Is like, the irony is sad. It really is sad. It's like, so this is what I don't want to happen to you, Scorpio, is I don't want you to suffer at the hands of other people's negligence, okay? It's time for you to walk away. In this card, you can see she's walking away from these waters that no longer serve, where the cups have disappeared. She's walking into this green grass towards, I would call that a sunrise. So the sun is peeking out the other side for you. So this is saying, don't be afraid. Don't stick around to see what happens. You know, don't stick around to see what happens with where things aren't working out anymore. Because this is saying that if you just let it go, there's going to be such greener pastures. There's going to be sunshine. It's going to feel like a completely whole new world for you. Okay. So I know that sometimes that can be really hard to let things go because you love them or you care about them, or there are certain aspects of it that you do like, but it's like, no, you need to be real. Because the overall general message was get clear and use discernment. I feel like that is what's going to help you walk away, is because right now I feel like you're too emotionally attached and it's keeping you in this feedback loop of never-ending suffering, okay? It's like you can't break free because you don't have the vision in order to see clearly. These cards are very dark. Like around this Eight of Cups, it's very dark edges around here, and the only place with any sort of hope for light is right here on the other side of the hill. So that's where she's walking. You know, the Chiron card is a very dark card. He is in the throes of immense suffering and pain, you know, misdirected aggression, mistakes, pity. So think about where in your life there has been people who have been aggressive to you, maybe aggressive to your loved ones, or just showing aggression around you, even if it's not directed to you, which I feel like for a lot of you it is. People who are just overly aggressive because they don't know how to handle their own shit, basically. It's time for you to walk away from that, because they're going to have to fall on their face, is what I'm hearing. They're going to have to fall on their face. They're going to have to suffer a little bit. They're going to have to hurt a little bit, even though they already have been. But this is in a way that they're just been perpetually throwing their own pity party and never actually doing things to help themselves, because you've been there to emotionally comfort them or carry them. And it's time for you to get clear on the people, places, things, situations that would make you feel burdened, burdened in the way of what makes you feel like, oh, this was a mistake, or what makes you feel like things that make you feel pity, or people who have aggression, not necessarily an external force coming in to hurt you, Scorpio, but this may be yourself too. Think about where you are misdirecting your aggression, where you are have made mistakes, where you have thrown a pity party for yourself. It's time for you to walk away from that aspect of yourself. If this is not in regards to a specific person, place, or thing, then this is an internal battle in which you are triumphing by getting clear and then using that discernment to see what you need to walk away. I feel like you are going to walk away, if not currently walk away, either physically, mentally, or emotionally, detaching yourself from this thing that's causing this perpetual suffering for you. It's causing you to avoid potential damage, and stress. It's going to feel like you've lightened your load when you walk away. Of course, there's going to be healing that is going to need to take place. And sometimes that feels like grieving, and that's perfectly fine. But here's the thing is, once you've let that thing, person, place, thing, belief system, job, whatever go, you are going to be walking into the path of your destiny, and that is going to feel so much brighter and so much lighter. It's going to, all these other cards are like flying creature, butterflies, dragons, Pegasus, things that are very light-hearted and light. And right now it's like these cards are like down into the ground, and it feels very heavy. So I keep getting the message of don't let your past mistakes keep you wrapped up and roped into situations, people, jobs that would cause you to suffer. Okay? This is why you're being asked to get clear. Okay? Getting clear on the thing, people, places, and things that make you feel that way, or maybe even aspects of you that make you feel that way. Using discernment, seeing where the truth lies. Okay? Not all is as it seems. Stay true to your knowing. What have you witnessed personally? Have you witnessed a certain person at a job act with cruelty, but then can turn around and be so nice to other people? Well, it's like that. Take note of that. Take note of who is causing suffering around you, and choose to walk away. Now, notice that the walking away energy is very solo. So you might not, you might have to make this journey on your own, Scorpio, to make it happen, but it's going to lead you into the direction of people that are willing to actually help you build the things you want to build, because the Eight of Cups is a very solo energy card. Look, it's taking that person's willpower, and basically I feel like you're fed up. There's a fed up energy that I'm experiencing where you're just done with it. You're like, I'm done entertaining this nonsense. I'm done entertaining this person, this job, this whatever it is. You fill in the blank with your specific story. You're just done, because you are ready to transform. You are ready to emerge. You are ready to build your life. You are ready to expand into a life that is balanced. I feel like that's huge for you right now, is the feeling of balanced. But you see, the Three of Pentacles, I feel like, is happening right after the Eight of Cups. The Three of Pentacles is all about finding people that help you weave the things that you want to build. Each person has their own strand that they're adding to this tapestry. So it's like, find people who are of the same nature as you. Find people who are of like-mindedness with you. Who are the people that make you feel cool, calm, and collected? Who are the people that make you smile, who make you laugh? And not out of a trauma response, but out of a, we're doing this, guys. We're building a future together. We are doing what is necessary to pull ourselves out of suffering and create our own future. Okay? So yeah, the fact that this is, I mean, it's a sad story, honestly, of Chiron, the wounded healer, you know, because it was like no mistake of his own that he got injured and hurt. You know, there's a reason why Zeus took pity on him. But this is what this is saying is you aren't Chiron, okay? You have the power to determine your own destiny of what you will and will not tolerate, Scorpio. What will you tolerate? What will you not tolerate? It is time to walk away from the things you no longer tolerate. The fact that this is a 7 of water and this is the 8 of cups. So 7 of water is like the 7 of cups. The cups are the same as water, basically. So it goes from 7 to the 8. Okay. And now I know 7s are seen as like lucky number 7 or whatever, but 7s aren't always easy luck. Okay. 7s are, can be quite difficult to deal with, honestly. But 8, on the other hand, 8 is a beautiful number saying what goes around comes around. So if you give yourself the energy that you deserve and the energy that you need, it's going to come around and bring you to a bigger, brighter, better place. So you are graduating from a 7 to an 8. 8 is also the number of infinity. It's the number of karmic cycles, which positive or negative. This is very much a positive karmic cycle shifting in your favor, Scorpio. There are rewards waiting for you. You just have to walk away from the things that no longer serve you, the things that no longer are emotionally fulfilling to you, okay? And I feel like I hear some of you saying, well, I don't know what that is, or maybe you do know what that is, but you're afraid to do it. This is why getting clear is very, very important to you. Connecting with nature, writing everything down in a journal, or studying or reading books that make you feel more clear, using discernment as in you don't have to be so gullible. And I'm not saying that you're gullible, Scorpio, but what I am saying is sometimes you, what's the word? It's like chosen naivety, where you like choose to play the role of being naive for the sake of keeping everyone around you comfortable. But that's the thing, is it's time for you to create those boundaries, those lines of who are you willing to tolerate, what are you willing to tolerate, and what you need to walk away from, okay? Because if you stay, I guarantee you that your ship's gonna run aground on a iceberg, unseen iceberg, and you're gonna start taking on water and sinking your ship, and you don't want that. You've built up this beautiful life thus far, Scorpio, and you've overcome a ton of your own suffering. So that's another message I'm getting, is like, these people that you're carrying emotionally, it's time for them to take accountability for their own actions. It's time to take accountability for their own choices. And if that means they fall flat on their face and have to suffer a little bit and cry a little bit on their own, let them do it, okay? Because the words I'm hearing is they've created their bed. Now let them lie in it. It is not your job to save them, okay? It's not your job to save them. It's time for you to save yourself, okay? And I know that sounds kind of selfish, but look at where it got Chiron, where selflessness got Chiron. It got him suffering. He's now suffering. Now, I'm not saying selflessness is bad, and I'm not saying selfishness is good. What I am saying, though, is you tend to carry the burdens of others a little too much, Scorpio, and it's time for you to let them suffer from their own actions, okay? You're just stepping back, stepping away from it. That's all you're doing. You're not doing anything to that person other than stepping away. So that is extremely important for you right now, because this is, I feel like, the crux of it for you, Scorpio, in order to get you to the other side. We're just trying to get you to the other side here. Okay, but I feel like this whole walking away thing of things that no longer emotionally serve you is so difficult for you, because Scorpio, you care deeply, you love deeply, you have deep attachments. But this is saying, the reason why it's come out twice is Spirit is saying, I meant what I said. And I said what I meant, as specifically for you, Scorpio, to whoever is listening to this. It is time for you to do a little bit of homework in getting clear and using your discernment to be able to know exactly what it is you're walking away from, who, what, and where you're walking away from, so that you can build this better future. Okay, Scorpio? All right, so before we go, I'm going to draw a stone for you to see what kind of crystal energy is going to help you on this next leg of the journey, okay? So let me grab my box. It's my Christmas box full of rocks, so make a wish as I grab a crystal for you. Okay, Spirit, what crystal's going to help Scorpio out the most? Oh, okay. We have two. Interesting. We have two. We have rainbow fluorite and blue calcite. It is a more light blue calcite, which reminds me of the ocean and water. So let me bring them up closer so you can try to get the camera to focus here. The light isn't really doing these crystals justice, but I'm telling you, they are quite gorgeous. So, this blue calcite, it is a Caribbean blue calcite. It is meant to look like a tropical ocean, or at least the waters of a tropical ocean. And fluorite, rainbow fluorite, has purples, blues, greens, all sorts of fun stuff. So what these stones represent, the ones for you, for those that are learning, going to school, or are studying something, or need your wits about you mentally, get yourself a piece of fluorite, because fluorite helps the brain organize things that are overwhelming. Or if you have a big project that you're undertaking and it requires a lot of studying, research, or maybe lots of writing, those kinds of scholarly type activities, get yourself a piece of fluorite, because that, or if you suffer from like disorganization, OCD, or ADD, or I'm hearing bipolar for some of you, but any of you that need to be a little bit more organized, get yourself a piece of fluorite. That is going to help you retain information. It's going to help you study well and stay focused, as well as keep your life more organized. Now, I feel like that's only for some of you. Now, for all of you Scorpios, this Caribbean blue calcite is extremely important in the sense of keeping your emotions calm and bright. Calm, not in the sense of like slow and lethargic and sleepy, but I mean calm as in you are able to see clearly, even though there's a swirl of chaos around you, okay? Or the way I see it, I just saw somebody like a very bratty child screaming at their parents that they want this or they want that. I'm just seeing like a kind of a bratty kid. Maybe this kid's gone through some shit, but I feel like there's this bratty kid that's like standing there screaming at you. I can't believe you've done this. I can't believe you've done that, or something, where they're just like really just harping on you hard. It's like, man, if I were to talk to my mom that way or my parents that way growing up, I would have been slapped silly. But it's just like, I feel like you being able to stay cool, calm, and collected, even if and when someone is screaming in your face. It doesn't have to be that extreme per se, but you get what I mean. Like when you've got a Karen in your face, or you've got somebody you just really don't like, and it's very hard to stay cool, calm, and collected around them. This is why blue calcite specifically, this Caribbean calcite is so important. I feel happy place when I hold it. I also feel that it helps clear the emotions. So the fact that these two stones are like very colored similarly to this Eight of Cups card is like, this will help you be able to stay calm in the face of emotional adversity, especially when I'm going to tell you right now, when you walk away from things that no longer emotionally serve you, the people that have been taking advantage of you while you've been in the place of suffering before you take the brave step to walk away, they're going to get pissed. And this stone here is going to help you have the strength and the courage to stand true and strong in your own emotions. This is going to make you feel that happy place while the person is standing there screaming at you. You're going to feel much more cool, calm, and collected. The fact that it's a calcite, all calcites are energizers. So that means that they clear energy. So if you feel like you're feeling a bit lethargic or stagnant energy, get yourself a piece of calcite of any kind, but blue is very specific to the throat chakra, speaking and communicating clearly, and also emotional calm, tranquility, and well-being. Get yourself a piece of calcite because it will help clear the stagnant energy. If you're having a hard time breaking free of old patterns or habits, this will help you. If you need help getting that clarity, to be able to discern what it is you need to walk away from, this stone will help you, okay? So very, very cool that you got this stone. I absolutely love carrying this around with me, especially when I need to stay energized, but also keep my wits about me and stay cool, calm, and collected around potential chaotic energy. Okay. Especially if I need to communicate clearly as well. Or it also teaches you when to speak and when not to speak, because sometimes it's best to say nothing and just walk away, because if you try to explain or whatever, then that's just more, you're giving the other party more areas in which to try to control you. The more information you give the people that are emotionally tumultuous for you information, the more that they can use it against you, is what I'm hearing. So this stone will help keep your emotions clear. Okay. Keep your mind clear. Keep your emotions healthy and grounded. Keep your emotions on the lighter side, as in, even if you're experiencing darker emotions or are dealing with something that's very, very frustrating or aggravating, this is going to help you get through it, but not just get through it as in continue the suffering. It's more of get through it as in you're going to stay for as long as you need to until you have learned the lesson, and it's going to help you go. So this will help you learn the emotional lessons as well, so that you can truly and fully let it go. Because here's another thing that I'm getting is when you walk away emotionally from things, if you don't learn the lesson, you're just going to walk straight into the same lesson, just different faces, different people again. It's like same energy, different job, same energy, different people, same thing, different place, same thing, different face. So instead of suffering like this in this weird cyclical cycle that I feel like you're kind of stuck in, this whirlwind that you're stuck in, or whirlpool, get yourself out of that by getting yourself a piece of this stone that's going to help refresh your mental body and your emotional body, okay? So that you can actually get the perspective and the clarity that you need to make these decisions, to cut these people, places, and things out of your life, Scorpio, okay? All right, so I just want to thank you so much, all of you water signs, for joining me in this reading. This was a hell of a lot of fun. I absolutely love reading for my water signs because it's always so juicy, okay? Y'all's are so juicy, and I love it. So I hope that I see you next time with a reading like this. I really love doing it for you. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button and share with any other people that you know absolutely love tarot. Again, I thank you for your time, and I will see you next time, okay? Love you. Bye.